Get started, call meeting to order. Why don't we go ahead and skip ahead to Jake? So I'll defer to Jake. Jake online. How are you?
Good. How is everyone?
Good, good. Why don't you go ahead and take the spotlight.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead and you get started. We'll start with you guys. Then we can circle back on everything we need to talk about.
Okay, so on the issue of, we're talking SRF sponsored project money. So this goes back to the large SRF loan on the wastewater plant. The SRF program offers 1% reduction in the rate. So basically 10% of the principal amount of the loan be used towards stormwater quality projects. And that the money currently available is around $550,000 via loan amendment. And we met out there last month. Dean and Annette and I met out there to talk about, mainly we were looking at the stormwater wetland project in Lot C across just upstream from Cox Springs, just north of Highway 20. Because I understand there's been, I think, some resident complaints or asking the city to deal with that. So we walked that with the folks. It is in the watershed assessment that we did and the grant application. However, both the DNR and the IDALS technical support for the SRF program, they both thought that the existing drainage is currently functioning almost as a stormwater wetland, and they weren't real keen on the idea of regrading that and removing some of the willows and the other wetland species we got. They were in support of a project that would establish native plantings basically from the wetland transition area up to the edge of right-of-way or the edge of the city property. It would basically be everything that is currently mowed out there. That I would guesstimate, my 5-minute guesstimate on that would be around $250,000 for that native planting stuff. That comes with some strings attached. There's a the native plantings have to come with a long-term maintenance plan that the city will be responsible for. Either the city will have to implement that maintenance plan or contract with someone. The city of Asbury contracts with, I forget the name of the company now. They recently got bought out, but there are opportunities to contract that work out, but it's going to be significant maintenance requirements over a 20-year period, especially the first 3 to 5 years getting it established. We also talked about the stormwater management pond at Royal Oaks, west of Royal Oaks, that I think 40-acre property that AJ currently owns. We started a process of coming up with a conceptual plan and estimate. That was put on hold when those the land acquisition negotiations stalled out. That project is also within the watershed assessment, so it would be eligible if the city wanted to pursue that. The SRF money can be used for that land acquisition.
But only for the project, right? It's not
the full 40 acres.
correct.
Not the full 40 acres. It would only be the stormwater quality piece of the acquisition. So if you acquire 40 acres, you build a 10-acre pond, of which IDAL says, really only 7 acres of the pond is for stormwater quality benefit, then 7 acres of the 40-acre acquisition would be eligible. But it is eligible. All the engineering's eligible. It's 100% money. That approximately $550,000 that was currently available, That will go down next June when the city makes their next payment on the large wastewater loan. Because it's based on the outstanding principal amount. And they will only amend that loan twice. So if we have more than one project, they will amend it once at the end of the last project.
Jake, you got a cost estimate on that, Royal Oaks?
No, we didn't. I do not. We can spend all the money
We could spend it all right there if we had
Yep.
to.
for sure. We did. I don't know if you guys have it in front of you.
Not,
It's not coming through very good. We did start a concept. We never got through to an estimate. And I believe what happened was when the land negotiations fell through, we put it on hold and stopped spending money on it until that gets ironed out.
we're starting them young here, Jake.
I'm sorry, what?
Never mind.
What's the time frame on this that we need to kind of make a decision and start the process?
We need to make a decision before we make that next principal payment in June 2024.
Okay.
But there are some hurdles to go through. Are there some cutoff dates that we have to apply by to get the motion, to get the wheel in motion?
The next step would be for us to continue on that conceptual design and the cost opinion and kick that over to the SRF folks and Amy Bauska with IDOLS, who's the technical reviewer, and get them to approve our concept and our approach to that, to retrofitting those existing ponds for the stormwater quality benefit. And then after that, we would proceed through final design and get the public bid project out there. It's, at this point, I would say it's probably not likely to have the project complete. And by the time you make your next payment on that, so you would have one more payment on it and reduce that amount a little bit. And we could we can talk with the Iowa Finance Authority and get what that amount would be after the next principal payment. I don't think we're going to get through the reviews and get a bid project out there and get construction. Well, we just have to have bid. That's right. We just have to have bid dollars before they'll amend the loan. So that's realistic. If we proceed, that's realistic. And we do have an existing agreement to do the conceptual stuff, which we put on hold. If the land acquisition, if that goes smooth, I think it's realistic to have a bid project out there and because that's what they want. They don't necessarily require the construction to be complete, but they want to see the public bid process complete and see the cities at the point where they're ready to award it before they'll amend the loan.
Any questions for Jake at this time? Jake? Discussion about next steps.
Well, I guess I've got a question. I guess maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but we're looking to spend money to acquire land to build a park.
If we can.
But we have a park that's not started with that funding.
Right.
So would it make more sense? Does it make more sense to finish the park started?
We will. If we don't use this money, it just goes away. Right? This money isn't available for
The
that,
more we can make payments, the lower the amounts. Where it's not gonna be,
but we don't have anything else. Water quality driven in Kettle.
So.
So there's nothing.
Maybe I never read this money came from where?
This is from the wastewater treatment plant.
So we didn't use.
We started out $650,000. We made our first principal payment, struck it every time.
So if we don't use it, we don't have to pay it back. So why? My
What they're
question-
doing, John, is they're reducing the interest that you're paying moving forward on the rest of the loan. They're amending the loan one time and reducing the interest that you're paying and giving you that money back towards stormwater quality benefit projects.
And if we don't use it, they don't reduce the interest?
Correct.
Then we just give it back to them and
You don't give it back to them, you just continue to make the payments.
you lose.
You get that money via a loan
You lose
amendment.
the opportunity of lower interest.
Right.
And the lower interest, so that the lower interest is this amount.
Correct, that's available for us to use.
Got it, okay.
So you're not losing out on grant funding, you'll be paying the normal interest amount on your big wastewater treatment loan.
So we're paying this one way or another.
In essence, yes.
Yeah, and you can pay it towards the loan, or they can reduce that principal amount and give you the money back and you put it towards stormwater quality benefit.
Got it.
And they understand that stormwater quality benefit's not generally the highest priority list for cities and residents that the cities serve. So they understand that this would likely be a portion of a larger project that would be like a quality of life project. They understand that that's where the city's interest is in serving residents with like quality of life projects. So this would be a pond and like a park, but we just have to prove to them the stormwater quality benefit.
Because we started in June.
I think you said that you have to bid in much.
And the completion date, is there a completion date that has to be done by?
To get the loan amendment, they want to see hard numbers via a completed bid process. So they would want to see that in May.
You know, bids back by May.
Which is doable, but depending on how land acquisition goes.
I think that's the key to all this. We don't have the land right now, so. Yes, we haven't talked.
We haven't broached that property yet. We've been concentrating more on the water tower property.
Let's see what here was here last. Here was, yeah, he was in then, not very happy.
I just didn't know, I mean, it doesn't really make sense for us to even talk about it if we don't have.
It's, yeah, cart before the horse right now.
Yeah.
But at least we know where we're at, I guess. That's the reason we're talking about it now. So what it would mean is that the other projects not as viable because of the lower benefit.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, you make that investment and like Jake said, then you have to maintain it for the next 20 years. And is that something that we want to put on public works?
My theory behind that is maintain it regardless. If it's something that we wanna do to their expectations, it's mainly the wildflower and stuff like that. We just go and buy some wildflower and see it.
But then we have to like burn it off and then,
And not if we don't try to apply to any of these funds. We don't have to,
So if we wanted to do it, we could just do it without.
only if we wanna benefit from these funds.
Is that still under court jurisdiction? Jake? That lot C?
I would have to double check. I think you're up above the floodplain, and if you're not down there messing around in the stream, you'd be fine.
Are we able to do bank stabilization? On that or no?
They were comfortable with. the
You're talking about getting down to water's edge?
Yeah, I'm talking about like, how do we get rid of the trees and call it something else?
Yeah, that would be, if you're doing bank stabilization, you're grading along the edge of that creek, tearing out willows and stuff, that's gonna involve the Corps.
Would wildflower eventually take over everything down there?
Or the likely.
It would choke it out anyway.
I mean, that's,
Or the willows.
No, not the willows, but like the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything on the bank.
everything in the bank.
I mean, it's all probably gonna intermingle where you're not gonna notice it so much. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's gonna take over. The weeds are probably gonna have a better chance of taking maybe wildflower. Yeah.
there's nothing saying that we couldn't do a native planting project on everything from that wetland transition up above to the edge of the city right away without this SRF money, and put together a planting plan and just do it. And then it wouldn't have all the strings attached with that 20-year.
Right. I think there's a lot we have to kind of look at before we even probably move forward on this at this point. Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. I've got one project going, not quite.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But this will give you an opportunity to start the second project, seeded. Pricing,
Yeah, what's the cost of farming land? So,
minus 7. So.
Do we think it's gonna take about 7 acres to do the project, Jake?
I think you had 10 acres, but 7 acres that we could use towards the.
Yeah, that was a hypothetical. The pond, when we stopped the conceptual for that Royal Oaks, it was 8.34 acres. But that hadn't been through any SRF or IDAL's review yet. So if we want to see a better idea of the wet surface area and a better cost opinion, we would need to probably start working on that conceptual design again, which is not going to be much money. It's going to be a few $1,000s. It's just a grading plan. So.
I think before we move forward any further on, looking at Royal Oaks, I think, we need to discuss that with AJ, whether that's even on the table for us at all to even look at, as even a viable project for us to talk about. Because right now, as Lexi stated, we don't own one, so maybe we at least know the ins and outs of, what it would be. Doing good, just kind of leaving it right there, and next step would be talk to AJ and find out about that land. Sounds like, as far as the native plantings, we probably prefer to probably go just on our own with that. Is that what I'm reading the room at? All right, go over now. All right. Anything else for Jake? All right, thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, it looks like the first one is the monthly pay application from Tricon for the community center job. This is in the amount of $268,000. Brings them to just shy of 80% completion. So I've reviewed that, quantities, percentage, complete, everything seems in order there. If there's any questions, happy to address.
Any questions on that for Jake?
I'll be prepared and it's ready for council Tuesday night.
The next item is a change order that addresses some additions to the project and some field adjustments. I can kind of step through these. So the first one, the big ticket item here is some flooring addition. We're adding new tile to the lower level hallway that leads back to the batting cage area, but will serve the elevator and new stairwell. Had to remove some of that, couple rows during construction to accommodate, extending the slab. The existing tiles are original, I believe, to the community center, and there aren't any to match in or, replacements. So city staff reviewed, came up with some color selections. This also includes some tile replacement at the main entrance to the ballroom. So same story, a couple rows were damaged when they had to put the addition on for the lobby. So we're trying to make a more aesthetically pleasing transition. So taking kind of three tiles out and kind of making a little border. So there's indicating kind of a hallway to or a walkway towards the track doors that leads, to the west, and then also down to the restroom hallway. So just trying to blend that in with some aesthetically pleasing, without being able to match the existing tiles pretty easily. Second item, code requires the fire rating on the elevator equipment room. So we needed to upgrade a couple of the dampers for the heating and cooling to be that fire rated. So there's a couple $100 change there. Still working, negotiating that cost with the contractor, because there should be a credit for the dampers that are in there. Third item, they encountered a bottom beam, which is basically where the cinder block is filled with concrete that they had to penetrate for some of the HVAC ducts in the lower level. To maintain the height requirements for the golf simulator, we had to fit those between the joist space rather than putting a plenum or a soffit below. So that led them to have to go through that concrete bond beam. So that cost is for labor and equipment rental, as I understand it. To serve those, and that's the wall partition between the golf simulator and daycare space, the lower level. The next item made some changes on conveying water. We decided to take the roof drains from the canopy below grade and tie it into the storm sewer as opposed to this discharging at grade. And that also change item eliminated some concrete bollards at those canopies and replaced them with a little heavier duty coating of the exposed steel. That's going to be below grade now. The next two items were items requested costs through Stacy as far as replacing the lightings in the exercise room, as well as some miscellaneous outlets being added around, so she doesn't have to string an extension cord to serve the TV and some of the fans down those rooms. Let's see, and I did get an updated quote to add the dimmer control as well, so that added a couple $100 to that number.
That's in here.
It's not on this, so that new number is 5,200.
For five.
Correct. Yeah. So that includes the dimmer switches and the control wiring for all those lights. So I don't have a signed version of this yet, but I'll be giving it to you. Before the next one. Yeah, so the last item was just adding, I think, 3 or 4 outlets throughout the whole rooms. So some field adjustments based on, what was discovered and some additions. Tackling some of the PCCs. Which was.
So remember the first one there.
Yep.
You said that some of the tiles were damaged. What happened?
Well, it wasn't something that we had called for full replacement in that area. So basically in the lower level, they had to tear out the wall to extend the footings in the basement for the elevator and the elevator equipment room. And that those tiles were removed during that process so they can match the floor in. So it started with, it was a row, it wasn't, it was necessity to complete the job.
It wasn't anticipated at the time.
Right. Right. Yep, and there's more there, as far as kind of making things look nice as opposed to just repairing, like at the main entrance, for example. We looked at possibility of matching the LVT that extends down the hallway. I think that product was maybe discontinued in winter. So we found a tile that will mesh good for the architect's opinion, that's outside of my expertise.
Where are we at on the contingency money? Yeah, right.
I guess I can't answer that question. I don't know what
No,
that value is.
So I can get it, I'll make a note of it, and give it to you.
So the, I can tell you that the updated contract price. I'm not sure what your contingency is. We're at just, let's see, we're at about 2.9,
What was the original?
original bid, 2.55. So the,
$400,000 over.
well, we added the roof replacement, which was 270,000.
And that's covered with that bond issuance. So we really can include it in this cost, because it'll be a separate cost.
I'm expecting some added fire detection devices required for the elevator. That's the only, I guess, change item that's on my radar at this point.
80% right now,
Pardon?
80%.
Complete, yeah. Yeah.
They can move out for about 2.7.
I would rather up to 5. The roof is, you know,
Somebody said it's great.
270,000 for the roof, gym roof replacement in the other level.
You know, sort of,
I'll get you that number.
think of what we, what the normal that we use. Is there such a thing?
Since we have Jake here, can we go ahead and do, F? Please. He must not have been able to get a ride here. Okay, so this is just a PSA for the lift station in Capcord. This is just the continuance of, what we've been discussing about the lift station over there. So if you have any questions, Steve has graciously sacrificed you to answer those.
I'll do my best.
Now, part of these fees will be part of the SRF loan that we do. We can incorporate that into that. I'm thinking we can.
Where are we at with that? Like, how much work have they done over there?
I don't know if they've done, I think the environmental has been done. To my knowledge, they've not done anything more, but once we get that environmental back, then we can proceed with the loan, we can proceed with plans.
Is there enough of that project left
Pardon me,
to do that?
do they have enough of the project left to do
Yeah,
that?
has he done any more
Not that I'm aware
stuff
of.
going over that way?
I mean, that he might know.
Water rate installed, or installed, nothing, well, I shouldn't say nothing, I mean, just to the, forest main. Basically, they rerouted the forest main to its new location from the Cap Cortland station up to Cap Drive.
We're still looking at 650 range for this.
We are.
I think that was incorporating all those pipes and stuff in here.
Well, that money we were talking about, we thought it might be best if he were to do a project there to incorporate those costs into a TIP agreement with him. So, and I know he's moving forward with plans, so I think that's the best opportunity for us to at least reimburse a portion of that back to him through TIP.
Any other questions about the agreement? We'll move on from that one.
It's not exceeding, that's all.
85.
Anything else on there?
All right, thank you. Back to October 10th. 24.
Have been a couple of things added to next Tuesday's meeting simply because they've been coming in after this was already posted. But nothing that is first up. Of course, the 24th is pretty light right now.
What is October 26th? After school.
Same work.
It's just a proclamation. Marcy, did she reach out to you initially?
That was Beth, that was the other one.
Okay. Yeah, this was something I think they came to in August, just proclaiming this day to keep the lights on. And I think it's just part of their youth program. What do we have?
Do they have further after school programs out here?
Yes, they do.
It's not that we're not part of it. Or it doesn't have to be.
Correct. And the proclamation, I think, is out there. Yes. Well, it is on the meeting itself.
Oh.
But, it's basically saying, PIAS stands firmly committed to quality after-school programs and opportunities by providing safe, engaging learning experience, et cetera, et cetera. So it has to do with the after-school program.
Okay.
I believe on Tuesday, meeting?
Yeah.
That is the third reading of our.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be the end of September, but we missed that one apparently. We didn't copy it forward. So this is the final reading for that change. So everybody gets one more month of the lower rate. So let's change November 1.
Insight from Adam on that ICAP renewal.
His words in an email was, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, his, yeah,
And I'm not gonna miss words, he said it was going to be good.
he just said everybody's going up.
So if you have any questions prior to that meeting, just let me know, I'll be more than happy to forward those to it. John. That's all right.
Our in-house expert. We'll use it out.
I don't know if you just- Seriously.
And our in-house expertise. Experter than everyone else. Go ahead and then, move on. Department head discussion. Jason? I'm just kind of going up with it.
Most things going on is obviously this, the remodel. We did have WD Kids come yesterday, to start painting both of our fitness rooms. So we did get the spin room completely done. They got the other fitness room partially done, so we're gonna work to finish that. But so we're getting that done ourselves. And then working with a few groups to get a couple of new things into the center. Talked to someone today that wants to do a women's self-defense class, in November, just kind of working things through with that. And there's another gentleman who wants to do wrestling at the center, so kind of working back through that as well. All of it in full of mind to try to do more rec. I guess I keep saying it, but I want to try to do more stuff within the center. Our volleyball league here starts November, and they're all full and still taking teams, going a little further than full. But yeah, things going well with signups for that kind of stuff. And our preschool workshops start here in a couple weeks as well, first is October 26th. So we're getting more classes going. They were first tournament this weekend. Karate is going to do it this weekend. So another first with a torn up building, so that should be interesting. We had the end of last year when it started. So hopefully that all goes as planned. Kind of nice that they will have access to the upper parking lot. They always try to shoot out the front anyway.
We finalized, everything was done, okay?
Yeah, so we were working on actually getting everything signed. So we went up a little bit. We just went up $500, but with the idea that I am no longer providing any clay and turfs, anything. So that is a couple thousand throughout the year that we're not providing, and then that they do all the stuff that Dan did. And they've done an amazing job down there. I would say even better. I think they picked it up, weeded, like everything looks, I don't know if you guys have been by, I feel like it was really very nice so far as the after Dan era. So yeah, so we're getting ready. I guess with that, we did meet with NICC Athletics. They made it semi-clear that they would like to have the field by themselves, and what our thoughts on that would be. And we also talked further regarding using a PCC for something. They throw basketball, they throw volleyball. Very, very, very beginning of it. We left with more questions than answers, let's just say that. So still there, we're still in discussion. It's just nothing's gonna happen.
How far out is?
They would love to start something a year from now, essentially. I mean, they would love to start fall 2024 if they could. Baseball, they would start sooner if we would kick them off. I tried to say let's share, is there a way?
Yeah, why do they not? Why
But
are
I
they?
can't say.
Yeah.
That we.
Oh, I mean, my response is I'm completely loyal in terms of, I told Clark that I was having a conversation with NICC. To me, we should all three get in the room, but
I think that has to be shared.
and obviously Clark doesn't like the idea of sharing either, so that comment wasn't like an earth-shattering comment. It just wasn't something.
They just wanna have.
I think if we're gonna
And
kick anybody that could, I think it'd be probably like.
Well, and yeah, and their selling point is very much, what will athletics for Piasta, the economy boost, the kids staying, the bars they're going to go to, the restaurants they're going to attend, the boost in the economy. Did the city give preference for that? Exactly. That's it.
Would, maybe you said that one, maybe.
I could start shutting that down. I think that's what I'm just. Back it up. Go to the corner.
As far as the internal or the inside stuff. What, I mean, obviously you look about, what want them to use that at night.
So that was the thing, like we talked logistics in terms of what would be practical, what would it be practical. The stuff in the gym, I wasn't as worried about, like they sounded super cool about willingness to, come in at 5, 6 a.m., come in at 9 p.m. They sounded like super like we could do that. What?
You're picking parts.
5 a.m., but 5 a.m., they don't start till 9, they don't start till 8:30ish, so they would still be out by then. I
When
did
do
bring
they
up
have
the
their
pickleball.
competitions?
So yeah, so that would be that.
That's where you're at.
Competitions would have no choice. But the kicker is everything else, like, so we started asking questions, right? Like, I mean, all the things that when I played basketball in college, you know, the laundry, the, you know, the athletic training, weightlifting, the, you know, like, what was thought about, is that what you're thinking? Are you thinking that you get our weight room? So not only are you asking for, you know, 2 hours in the gym, but then you're then asking for daily in the weight room too, or you're thinking about yourselves, like sharing, like, I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm like, I don't know how space goes for athletic training, like there's gonna have to be something for injuries or whatever. Laundry, we don't have commercial washers, like, is that something you guys would provide? Like I said, we left with more
Yeah.
questions than we did answers. So not in a bad way, like it was a very good like intro. I think that I think everyone's on the same page that if we can figure out a way that we can work with them, would love to. It's just that we also don't want to piss off our members.
So gym space is tight.
Correct.
We have that competition in the grass.
You have another meeting scheduled?
No, we don't, and not at this point, they were gonna go and put their heads together, they had some things on their end that they needed to figure out, I think the AD, when we talked to him, wasn't officially hired. And so, I think when that becomes official, I think there was some differences in opinions, on their side that they kind of have to iron out as well. I mean, in terms of some of the things that we talked about AJ's land and whether or not it would be acquirable or not is obviously one thing. But one of the things they mentioned was soccer and actual like place to play soccer. Obviously, we don't have that, but the potential, I mean, would they put any skin in the game? I don't know. But the potential to have a home field could be something as well. Obviously, I've been preaching green space as well, so I mean, having flat spaces that we don't have. Now, you know, we can partner in some way, shape or form. Could be something to think about, but right now I told them, yeah, obviously we have no, anything they want in a green field, unfortunately, it's not going to. Do that with us,
So
so,
if they can't use our facilities, they're gonna build their own.
no, eventually, yes, not tomorrow, no, I mean, next year, no.
You think there's enough parking space to accommodate to the indoor facilities?
I mean, 100% is wrong, I mean, they're at 100%. I mean, if they have, an event, we would order and have to close our center anyway, I mean, in terms of, how that would work, so I guess the question, city get on board, is that like, it would be cool to have within, but again, we're paying for a membership, is that something that we're gonna be okay with, and losing X amount of nights, for home games, and I don't know the question, you know, answer for that question.
Big ass.
I mean, we didn't get into, a lot of the stuff in terms of like, if it was volleyball, I was thinking backcourt, but I don't think backcourt is regulation like college size. To be able to do it, so I think that would have to be on the main court, you know, like there's definitely some things that we will have to do on our end as well. To get it, if they asked us to get it playable at a collegiate level. I mean, they brought up softball and how, the rules in their conference already is that they have to have padded fences everywhere, and, you know, we don't have them. And so, I mean, already there, it would be like, why don't we have these, because we do rec baseball and softball, like, it's not required at, you know, that level. I know it's coming down the Clark line, the pipeline at Wood Clark for the baseball field, and it's very clear that if and when that happens within the conference, they're going to be responsible to have to pay for that because it's for that. So yeah, like I said, it was an awesome conversation. No answers yet. So no direct.
What type of program you said
They would love to have us for fall 2024, spring 2024, 2024, they would love to have something. With that said, like, we're not the only people, they're definitely going to talk to, I don't know, high schools or whatever, but track cross country. Two of the ones they were kind of thinking, I think they were trying to think of sports that bring in the most number of kids to try to start first. And they're definitely starting slow. It's not like they're gonna start volleyball, basketball, and track all in the same year, that they're definitely trying to. Can they add one a year? Can they have one every other year? It wasn't like a boom. And when we talked, it was, I don't know if we could ever commit to more than one to start if we can figure out a way for that, because I don't know what that looks like. So. Cool concept.
Yeah, great concept.
What I was saying when you were talking was their cell, is that, well, it was very, like, one of the first questions asked was, after Clark, was PCC is city, correct? It's like, yes, like, okay, so this is like good for the city, the economic boost it gives to the city, the amount of dollars we're bringing into the city, like, that you should support us because of how much we're gonna give back, essentially, was their like selling point for this, so, just in that one. I mean, my tournaments, I usually tell, I didn't tell Travis, I didn't tell anyone yet, I Saturday, I didn't do that. But I have to tell restaurants that we have, a tournament because it does boost so much, so.
Hotels.
So,
Something.
but, and I asked that too, I was like, so what does that mean for my tournaments? Because we have, tournaments, because technically they practice weekend, weekends are a logical thing too. And it could eliminate some of those as well, and so financially, I'm not sure, we never got to numbers, what would you pay per season? We never got to that. But
Still conceptual.
100%. So,
Is their season the same as?
but yeah,
Floyd?
I don't know. Long spring, I don't know. First thing we checked out. So. Simulation.
Golf simulators.
No,
What are their
that's-
use for?
Yeah, they call.
All right, I think we'll,
They do have these sports, you say that.
yeah, no, I said golf simulator, you said golf team, and then
Well, similar.
golf simulator team.
Got it.
All right? That's a lot.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Good luck with that.
That is good stuff, yeah. What did you say, Dean?
Let's start on the north,
Okay.
I'll kick the
And
butt.
it feels
Yeah.
like,
start on the north end of town and work my way down. So currently we are working on removing some curb of that gingerbread, if anybody knows or anybody questions. We in staff do not have the time, so I did clear that out. We removed it, but the replacement I did hire out. And then hopefully, within this season, yeah, River City in there to do that overlay on gingerbread, that's a circle. Coming down on Main Street, I guess. Conley's moving along at a constant pace. A lot of utilities conflicting, but we're doing well. Very cautious and it's at their best interest. Gaston Street will be closed down from Ace Hardware's west entrance to Burns Road for the weekend. Potentially next week, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, Burns Road will be shut down from the intersection to the north entrance of Ace Hardware. But then, that being said, Gaston Street will be open back up. So that's kind of depending on, water samples and stuff that come back. They got, for the most part, 90% of the water main installed, yesterday. And just wait for, sample results to come back now next week, Monday, Tuesday. Not yet. So they'll leave existing as much existing storm, sewer piping in as they can until they actually can redirect it to the other type. So, yeah, it's all a benefit to them to get as much of that as they possibly can, because that includes the water from the actual retention pond to force it right directly downstream. Callahan's, subdivision down here, the extent of Agrina, I guess the paving's done, restoration not necessarily done, and all there's a question whether it can be traveled on or not. Preferences, no. Like I said, the restoration has to be done, utilities need to be finished. It's just,
Right.
it's just, yeah, there's just a lot of things going on there yet that,
It
could
looks nice.
very well be.
That does.
They did a super job, yeah.
That looks really nice.
So, the answer to that would be no.
Yeah.
Probably a good estimate on time for that to be open, probably gonna be around Thanksgiving. So just a rough idea, don't hold me to it, but it's a rough idea, it's probably. Pretty close to that time.
Christmas break.
That's gonna be
That's his goal anyway.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
Yep, because we actually, you know, we didn't.
No, that's good.
If it's my preference, we can say that now, whatever.
Everything else.
It's not long for us.
Everything.
He probably doesn't want it. What's that? Wait, over. Yeah, he probably. Yeah, we had our best dippers, I guess, in the cloud anyway, so. Yeah. Met with Adam Curran today, went over some things up the wastewater treatment plant to get a better idea, if you want to get a better feel on the buildings up there to have them all itemized. Got to get back in, get things broke down for him on that. Other than that, I don't.
We started moving into different works.
Yes, we are.
Like I drive by it every day.
Yes, we have. So I was gonna kind of save that discussion as we get into, but, yeah, definitely we can jump into that. They, I would say, are probably to about 90% graded out there to the dirt grade. Right now, they kind of held off. I brought to their attention, there may be a possibility that we extend the 24-inch pipe stormwater that comes from Amara, just to get it closer to that 60-inch pipe that we installed, I guess just about a year ago now, back in December, I guess it was. Therefore, with that being extended, we could raise that grade a little bit and probably make that a little bit more presentable out there on that first ravine, and allow them more space to get rid of some more dirt and lessen the steepness of the grade. So yeah, we're moving along good out there. Favorable weather, which is good. Also with that, I guess I had talked to Annette today about, I noticed on the plans, that they only have one string of tile basically going through the center of the parking lot. I'm not in favor of that. I thought the discussion was we had to have, tile bordering the entire parking lot. My recommendation would be to do that, to spend, Jake come up with an estimate of about $2,500. My recommendation to spend that extra $2,500 and put the tile in.
I just kind of want to step back a little bit, the request for proposal for, the grading for the, or furnishing the setting of the culvert. Do you want that to move to Tuesday night for approval? So that way we get the resolution ready.
Yep. So that dollar amount on that, I guess you guys have it in front of you, that dollar amount of that. And I did a quick figure on that, ran through some numbers. Our team cannot do that dollar amount.
It's a good deal.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm highly recommending that.
Go ahead.
If it's something that we want to do,
Yeah.
he's got a good number on that.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Keith, so to piggyback off of Dean a little bit with the construction project, we're trying to get the word out as much as possible. So obviously, next week, Tuesday, it's gonna affect you guys up in that area. So we'll try to get the post out as much as possible. We work with City Hall to get emails, text messages, Facebook posts. We're gonna try to the best we can with what we knowledge we know. We don't want to put it out now yet, just because things may change.
What happens if it changes?
Yeah, so we're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
On that type of situation. So, kind of what happened today, what I had to deal with, October 15th, I'm doing a lockdown drill at Piazza Elementary. It's just a seasonal, we do it every year, just a drill. This year is not the evacuation, just the drill. So the week before that, I go in and teach the kids, especially younger ones that haven't been there, pre-K, first graders. I go into the room and tell them what to do during lockdown drill. That's about all I got, right? I just wanted to, and I'm working with Seton right now to figure out how a lockdown drill for that too. So just giving you a heads up of, I found at school that, and we're talking lockdown, that's what's gonna happen. And the next week, yeah, October 15th, I think is when it is the actual drill, so.
And I am thankful you took a shower.
Thank you. I was running around a lot, so I'm like, I need to go.
All right. One thing I would prepare for is more closures, more permanent closures, probably down Yeah.
Well, I did
Moving
heard
forward.
that in a couple of weeks, it's probably gonna be.
Yeah, when they start the grading process, yeah, because, I mean, we're probably only looking at maybe another 2 weeks on pipe work. And then when we turn into that grading process, it's gonna be more permanent. So definitely be
Is that
prepared.
intersection gonna stay open somewhat at all, or is it gonna be at some point that intersection completely blocked out?
I mean, at night, hopefully they can do enough rock grading. You know, it's gonna be kind of weather pending, but hopefully they can do enough rock grading to run through there, especially for emergency services. But
They're doing
good
good about that, I thought, you know, at nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's open.
yeah,
But
they're.
he was saying that it's gonna be closed off from Ace to Birds this weekend, so just keep that in mind.
Yes, that will be a definite shut, because they're going across with that storm pipe. And with structures on both sides, they got to pour collars around the pipe coming in the structure and stuff, so it's gonna be pure tank and stuff of that sort for, and backfill.
And then he's still okay with us using their parking lot as a stuff through? or-
Yeah, I mean, I just talked to Jason yesterday. He was just, kind of upset a little bit, not upset, but,
He just wants it done.
the business is slowing down, and he just wants it done. We all want it done.
You were at Ace yesterday?
I was, I did 8 days.
Yeah, but you were in Ace yesterday.
I was.
Stop for lunch.
It's the only time I can cross kiosks to stay please when they got it.
Where's the mayor?
They knew exactly where you.
They
were.
did too, didn't they?
They're very helpful there.
Track me, if nothing else. Ace is the place.
Right.
All right, prospect. Busing invoice. Nothing on here. What's everyone's, we've been over this a couple of times. I think, they're requesting $2,047.50.
So what was the last invoice at?
It's
$6,686.
And we went back and said, this has some stuff that doesn't.
Wouldn't be changed
And
out.
this is the revised.
And that actually, I pulled my file, and that's the number that I had wrote down months ago.
2047.
Yes,
And this is the stuff that pertain to us, what we asked for, I guess, or.
I think we said, give us something that looks more like it's applicable to the city. I think is the way we put it.
Yeah, because I think they went after everything and they had stuck into it at that point. It's not just
Yeah, it wasn't broke out. So,
the bidding process,
and planning and zoning in there, I think, and. So anyway,
yeah,
this is the same number that we all came to a consensus on.
I'm in favor of go ahead and achieving this. Anyone else? You put that to bed.
How much was their price bill?
I will defer to Marcy.
I don't know.
I know that.
Off the top of my head, I know it's paid.
Today.
I feel like his might have been around the 700 area.
Oh, sorry.
Because there was, Notterman and Prospect. We had to split it out. I think Prospect specifically, but I feel like 700. They got it today, but I wasn't in today.
They did pay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he paid.
I was just curious.
Acquisition of land for the water tower.
As you know, we've been talking to AJ Mayor and I about getting the 3.3 acres that's within the corporate boundaries. It's triangular piece, just south of Bard. We've come to an agreement on the price. Doug has created an agreement. I went through it and gave him my revisions, and I have not received that back from him yet. So the 99,000 would be for the 3.3. That 99,000 would be taken out of the 350,000 we have in the bond issuance for land acquisition.
Any discussion on the road usage? By yourself. On the street, you can get the lot of folks got a nice road. Is that the Penske building?
Yeah.
But consider a private drive, that's part of, that's what kind of property.
Yeah.
Can that be taken over by the city? The approach,
It
the
could be.
entrance,
Mhm.
Everybody else,
curb, is it? Is there curb and gutter down there?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of on where it's.
Gravel curb and, on the actual.
It doesn't work that way. It's not a beacon.
Can we do a shared driveway?
I'd say we probably want it,
Okay.
to own it, and then give them an easement on the back if we. It's gonna be our heavy equipment in the truck. I don't know what they said, but.
Will it be a street?
This is.
I mean,
What do they have?
It has, it has. Well, I mean, Penske's a rental, a truck rental.
Cemetery.
Yeah, semi straight truck, I mean, most of the,
I guess I'll-
most of the fleet that comes in.
Yeah, I thought that's really.
I think the steep street has potential of being a through street eventually, but you know, development. Right, would be.
How much of Cotton Springs is part of the city down there? Does that all count? Or is it a portion city there?
We west half. To.
So just that part.
Or just past, just past that entrance.
Okay, so we can do another call.
I was calling you when I was coming
I
here.
mean, it's a share, the amount of. You know, But I mean, it was installed properly, I didn't know it was 8 inches thick, you know, it's basically big that the street was, so.
And you make it work.
Plan is that big building. By the one,
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to go through engineering on that, and we definitely have to, you know, we have to have limit. Separation from the well and stuff, so I mean, a building of some sort definitely, but, you know, we have to.
Yeah, we can actually, not to interrupt, but we can actually with the SRF loan that we're going to get, as long as there is well, pumps and whatnot, we can actually have that in the machine shop and get funding for it. So why not utilize that, give them some extra space for equipment. It's a win-win. He's not smiling yet.
Me, it's not up yet.
The man's a realist. All right, I think we have our.
Sure, we'll call him by Monday.
Yeah, well, lots of.
Really?
40,000 acres, 40 acres,
40,000.
40,000. We want a hometown. It's the famous thing to do. City, park hours at the last, park meeting, there was discussion. Appreciate the chief being there, because I think he helped a lot of people feel better about what we're doing over at Kelly Oaks. Justin, are you shaking your head?
I did, they didn't have to go better.
I thought they felt like they had a better voice from, you know, with Mike there, you know, concerns that they have. I know, I feel like that it kind of vacillates back and forth, like they're very much. They want to stop the park from going through to going, okay, well, we know it's gonna go through, let's do the best we can. So I think that's, I think we've made it very clear to anyone who was at that meeting that the park is definitely going through. If they had any question about that, just look at the park today and they'll understand that it's coming through. So one of the things that was brought up was just park hours, which, you know, right now they're 6 a.m. to 11. There was discussion, you know, it helped if we, closed it early. I don't think there was much concern about the open.
What is our noise ordinance? How many is that?
That is 7 a.m. to.
Well,
I think it's
Yeah.
later on the
And
weekend.
then wait later.
it's way later on the week. I want to say it's 9
9.
PM on the weekdays. You put me on the spot, sorry, I just forgot about it. So I think it's 9 PM on the weekdays.
9 and 11.
I know 11 o'clock.
I think it's 10 or
On a weekend?
Yeah, there was a touch difference.
I'm gonna say it's 11.
I want to say it's 10. I think it's 9 or 8. It's 10.
Oh, we did, yeah, it's 10, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think that's probably we had the music.
Yeah, you know, the thing is with the park hours too, you know, depends what town you're in, you know, park hours, you know. Other cities close at 10, some close at 11, you know.
What's Asbury and surrounding, like part of it?
I believe they are all 11, I believe is what they are.
So Swiss Valley is 10:30, Valentine Park is 6, I don't know where that is in the view, AY is 10. Lewis Murphy is 10 Sunday through Thursday, 11 Friday, Saturday. I looked for Farley and Upward, I didn't find anything online, I didn't reach out.
What I remember about Farley, I think I wanna say it's 11, because they have those, you know, the big pavilion there. I wanna say it's 11, but
Which we're gonna have there too.
yeah.
We don't have any issues down here till 11.
We don't have many issues at all. When I presented at that meeting, I brought up 3 incidents in the last, what I could find on our CAD system and our police system. So what was it, 3 issues in the last like 12 years?
2 at that address. One was,
Yeah, I mean, it was all like Kelly Oak, you know, but one was the fight that they're talking about that got everybody riled up. The other was a nuisance complaint. There was concrete that was poured there that I think I had somebody remove.
and the other one was Bill McDermott calling in.
Yeah, so I mean, very, very little issues that, you know, that's reported in our system. That
It's something to probably address though, there is an issue, right?
Yeah. so-
Yeah. Yeah,
Where's the park board law?
So I think like as we were discussing it, I don't think we ever came to a actual decision. It was, we'll talk about it tonight, was kind of whatever. I will say the people, like the neighbors wanted to see the 10 is what, well, actually it said 10.
It did
like,
say
It's at 10.
It did say 10.
So I was surprised that it was even 10. Is
And
what
I
they
think we
said.
can revisit that. I mean, we can make it 10 and then revisit it.
Well, that's kind of my thought
If the
regardless of what we
pavilion
do.
goes up, when that goes up.
Or do the swing one, right during the week and then the weekends later and stuff like that.
Summertime, wintertime.
That's
Yeah,
not
and
my-
there's other parks that have, like, you know, October through March is this, April through September is this, like, I mean, there's definitely a lot of ways.
there is, keep it simple as
Well,
possible.
agreed, but
But
I
was
think,
thinking keeping that attached to the noise ordinance.
well, and so right now we just have generic park hours, and so it covers Spiegel Park as well, which obviously I want to keep to 11 because with games and stuff, we do go past 10. And so we definitely need like a ordinance per park, I guess, if you will. Well, I mean, I guess I don't personally want to see Spiegel go to 10. So, I mean, Kelly Oaks, right, I think right now it's early to say it, I don't think that, I mean, we can change it to 10, I don't think it matters at this point.
We just leave it.
I think we just leave it at 11 right now.
I mean, is there stuff you're gonna have to open for, what do you think?
With the idea that once this is developed, we'll 100% talk about it, I personally think it's early to.
We don't. open it, we think, whatever.
That would help parts of the same.
Yeah, I think right now, if it's 6 to 11, I mean, for right now, no reason to change now, it's just a discussion.
So you have a bunch of incidents or something. Then you
Yeah.
can read this, okay?
Very few.
Yeah,
I mean, in the last,
yeah, I'm just saying moving forward.
And they shared that they have a lot of key things they're seeing that they're not reporting.
and I said, you need to report those. I mean, that's what we're here for. Right.
We're gonna try for something. Right?
That's.
Well, it's kind of selling point that like as it gets developed, as parks get developed, the more usage for the actual, what it's meant for will deter those people from coming in, because of more usage.
Right, because right now, right now, there's no one drives by it, right? You have underage drinking out there and, no one's
I'm
there.
sure once it's a paid parking lot, it's gonna be recognized more by you guys as well.
Absolutely. And we do drive-throughs there throughout the park, you know, not necessarily the Chargers,
I was gonna say, it's not.
but the vehicle, like my truck and the SUV, we go through there and drive through the ravine area.
Yeah, and even during our IPAP inspection, I mean, Stacy and Dean and Mike was there too, and Todd Christensen said that there's studies and there's data proves that is the more use parks get, the less activity, nefarious activity you have.
Nefarious. Somebody's got to work for the.
Someone's got.
So yes, the plan is to put cameras up in the parks also with that.
They can say it first.
And those people at the meeting, they were advised that also. That
Yeah.
They were happy about that also.
Like, their worry was the pavilion and us getting parties past time, like, that's 100% what their worry is, we're not there yet.
The noise, I think they were worried about the noise after, hours.
Yeah.
Realistically, how many parties are gonna be on Thursday night?
I don't,
You don't see a lot of them.
well, and the thing is, we haven't even created, like, we don't have a pavilion A, we haven't even created hours that will rent out a pavilion. Like, there's a lot of, to me, discussion to be had before.
And again, if we have problems, I'll come to you guys and let you know, hey, we're having problems here, maybe we should look at maybe adjust. And if there is problems.
Okay. I'm good with that discussion. Everyone else good?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
We're gonna start working on budgets here in a few weeks. And,
We just did this. We just did this.
Tell me about it.
No.
Marcy and I were talking today and iPads came up. Do you want us to budget for iPads for council?
No,
Okay,
we'll just have problems with those.
okay.
These things die and replace them with something.
Okay.
But do you want us to budget for something then?
Yeah, if you want to.
Let's write it one more year. I
Okay.
mean, there's too many other things we're gonna try and squeeze into a short budget as it is.
And
Tablet laptops pretty, this is $200-300.
this will be in my weekly summary tomorrow, but 513 Piast Street, the Riley property.
Mhm.
According to state law, you have to have it inspected for asbestos. So, Mark Holder, I believe it was, came today, took a sample. We should know by Tuesday. I met with the fire department at their meeting, this past Monday. And in order to do a controlled burn, they have to, acquire a permit. And once they get that permit, they have 2 weeks to burn. So we've got kind of a tight timeline.
The monster permit from the state.
The permit from the state. Yeah. So I don't know who's gonna absorb that cost, but I guess us.
How much you talking?
I don't know.
What green will use any of that physical frame training?
The Raleigh-
Us, very little to none, because they took a lot of stuff out, they took out everything. Okay, so I'm like, oh. Yeah, right. So, water meter. Maybe the canines can go in there and do some stuff, but it's very old, it's not.
They could build stairs and do some training upstairs, so it'd be good for them. They also,
They could do that and maybe upstairs too, but anything else, anything like this? Yes. So
they also wanted to know if they could start some ladder training, if it's okay with you guys. They start with that.
Absolutely.
So if it's asbestos in it, you have to use it before they use it.
Normally, for a burn, I've never done it with asbestos, but when you tear down a building with asbestos, you have to like continually spray it with water. And then when you load it in the truck, you have to water it down so that the particulates don't get into the air. So we're going to vet this.
Well, you water it down also, when they. You're like water it down, and because you got to water it, so it doesn't get toward the highlanders, so.
So I'm not gonna be insurance near here, but if they're using ladder training, someone from the fireman slips and falls.
That's why I wanted to discuss this tonight, so I can get their certificate of insurance. And we can have agreement put in place.
What's it cost to get that on it?
Dean, what would you think? Probably 14,000-15,000?
Along with the foundation, yes.
How much money we're gonna add and the fees and all this stuff in the hospital?
I do not know about the fee yet. The asbestos sampling, I would guess that's probably gonna be pretty close to $750, $850. We do have the money for land acquisition, that $350 that we can take from that to pay for the little incidentals along the way, the permit fee, the asbestos check, the hauling away of the materials that are left after the burn. So either way, you're gonna have a cost, whether you demo it.
Yeah.
Or whether you burn it.
That's something out. I mean, they've got numerous
Send something out
companies
for-
that have construction equipment of getting rid of that building after they burn it.
I did say something to Jack, we were alone and left. So, I don't know, I just think that they see this as a training opportunity for them, and that's simply what it is.
We burned that, we'll pay for the fees and everything, what's it cost?
Still gonna have some rules, landfill fees.
Still get a remember donation.
Still gotta remove foundation.
And
Still
the
gonna be,
concrete, that's around it.
still gonna,
10 grand?
still gonna be looking at probably 6 to 7, 8.
And cheaper to burn it.
Well, I just thought it would just be invaluable training opportunity. So I don't want my house to be on fire to be the first one. First one there in their burn.
And they were very agreeable to doing it on weekends, so that's something I'll leave with you as far as traffic control. But first, we have to get the asbestos sample back and then find what the permitting cost is and go from there. And then,
All right, we will agree. Thanks, everybody.
Did you take him with you?